The tension between Elon Musk and Donald Trump reached unprecedented levels in the first days of June 2025, transforming a former political alliance into a public war filled with accusations, threats, and real economic consequences. The flashpoint of the crisis was Trump's support for a tax bill nicknamed the One Big Beautiful Bill, which, according to the Congressional Budget Office, would add trillions to the national deficit. Musk, who had previously funded Trump's campaign and led the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, harshly criticized the proposal, calling it an abomination and accusing the president of betraying conservative fiscal principles. Trump's response was swift and forceful. In public statements and social media posts, he accused Musk of ingratitude and suggested the billionaire had lost his mind. Trump also threatened to rescind federal contract with Musk companies, including Tesla and SpaceX, which led to a significant drop in Tesla stock and concerns about the future of American space projects. Musk did not back down. In a series of posts on X, he accused Trump of being involved in undisclosed scandals, including possible connections to Jeffrey Epstein, and suggested the president should be removed from office. Furthermore, Musk announced that SpaceX will begin to decommission its Dragon spacecraft, a key piece of the U.S. space program, in response to Trump's threats. The dispute also had symbolic repercussions. Trump, who had recently acquired a Tesla Model S as a gesture of support for Musk, announced that he was considering selling or donating the vehicle, symbolizing the definitive break between the two. Meanwhile, Republican leaders expressed concern about the division within the party and called for a reconciliation, fearing the feud could harm legislative priorities and political cohesion. However, Trump has made it clear that he has no interest in reconciling with Musk at the moment, stating that he is focused on broader national issues. The feud between these two prominent figures continues to dominate the political and economic landscape of the United States, with developments that could significantly influence the country's future. The escalation between Elon Musk and Donald Trump has taken on even more dramatic proportions in recent days. Following the public statements, Musk has reportedly met with leaders of the Libertarian Party and prominent figures from Silicon Valley, hinting at the possibility of supporting a new independent candidacy for the 2028 elections, an action that, according to political analysts, could deeply fragment the conservative base in the United States. The billionaire has also begun to discreetly fund the campaigns of moderate members of Congress who are opposed to Trump's fiscal package, openly challenging the Republican leadership. In response, the Trump administration announced it will open audits on all of Musk's companies with federal contracts, including the controversial Starlink project, under the justification of protecting the interests of the American people against possible corporate abuses. The Department of Justice has already begun its proceedings, which has been widely interpreted as direct retaliation for Musk's critical stance. On the international stage, the feud between the two influential American figures is also generating repercussions. Allied governments of the United States, such as Israel, the United Kingdom, and Japan, have expressed concern about the institutional instability, especially given the strategic importance of SpaceX for military communications and joint defense projects. Newspapers like the New York Times and the Washington Post are already speaking of a technological civil war between corporate power and the American presidency. Meanwhile, users on the X platform, controlled by Musk, are being exposed to a barrage of anti-Trump publications and campaigns, with many questioning if freedom of expression is being manipulated to favor one side of the conflict. Political analysts warn this war tightens could become a watershed moment in the recent history of the United States. On one side, a controversial president, determined to maintain his authority at any cost. On the other, an influential billionaire who controls platforms, aerospace companies, global internet systems, and the attention of millions. The question hanging in the air is, who will yield first? Or is this battle just beginning? As the tension grows, public opinion is divided. On one side, Trump supporters denounce an alleged attempt at institutional sabotage orchestrated by Musk and his allies in the private sector. On the other, Musk defenders see courage in his stance and accuse the government of promoting a growing authoritarianism, stifling dissenting voices, and persecuting those who dare to question its decisions. Hashtags like #FreeMusk, #TechVersusTrump, and #DigitalDictatorship have gone viral on social media, with millions of posts in just a few hours. The digital clash has already surpassed the limits of politics. It has become a battlefield for the dominant narrative in the information age. Meanwhile, the stock markets have reacted with extreme volatility. Shares of Tesla and SpaceX have fallen, while the market has grown apprehensive about potential breaches of billion-dollar government contracts. Institutional investors have begun to review their positions, and uncertainty about economic stability in the United States has once again come to dominate global economic news. Preliminary reports indicate that in the last 48 hours alone, approximately $300 billion have evaporated in market value, driven by the developments of the conflict. Internal sources close to the Trump campaign claim that the president is considering decrees that could restrict the role of large technology companies in electoral processes. Meanwhile, Musk's team is reportedly preparing a dossier that could compromise key government figures based on leaks about secret deals between politicians and megacontractors. The content, according to rumors, would be released directly on the X platform, further escalating the institutional crisis. The scenario, for now, seems to be heading toward a stalemate of unprecedented proportions. The world watches in real time the battle between two of the most powerful figures of the 21st century. It is not just a political or business dispute. It is a confrontation of visions of parallel powers of a new kind of war, fought not with weapons but with algorithms, influence, and narratives. And, by all indications, this story is still far from over. In the midst of the whirlwind of accusations and strategic moves, Elon Musk posted an enigmatic message. Do not underestimate the power of decentralized networks. The sentence, accompanied by an image of the Capitol in ruins under a heavy sky, sparked speculation. Many interpreted it as a veiled threat or preparation for something bigger, a possible leak of historic proportions. Political analysts are beginning to draw parallels with past scandals, like Watergate or the WikiLeaks files, but with the crucial difference that now, the stage is global and the pace instantaneous. Trump, in turn, doubled down. At a rally in Florida, before a fiery crowd, he accused Musk of trying to destroy American democracy under the pretext of digital freedom. The speech was accompanied by promises to tighten regulations against tech monopolies and to reclaim control from the hands of billionaire technocrats. The speech was met with applause, but it also generated an international reaction. Several world leaders expressed concern over the rhetorical escalation between the president and the tech mogul. Behind the scenes, pressure is growing within Congress. Lawmakers from both sides have already begun to organize to open investigations into both the political use of social media and the government's contracts with Musk's companies. Some say that forces within Trump's own party are trying to de-escalate the conflict behind the scenes, fearing it could spiral completely out of control and provoke a constitutional crisis. Even within the armed forces, the atmosphere is one of high alert, not due to military risk, but from fear of internal destabilization caused by the war narratives. The clash between Musk and Trump has laid bare something many already suspected. The new centers of power are no longer restricted to governments and traditional institutions. They live in the code of platforms, in data networks, in the hands of those who control attention and information. And when these titans collide, the consequences go beyond any diplomatic playbook. What is at stake is not just a battle of egos. It is the future of global governance, of digital democracies, and of the balance between freedom and control. Faced with this unpredictable scenario, the public is left with a disturbing question. How far can this war of giants go? The confrontation between Elon Musk and Donald Trump may seem, at first glance, to be a dispute of words and posts. But behind every sentence lies the future of public policy, of digital freedom, and of the very concept of truth in the information age. The tension grows by the hour, and the whole world is watching, not just as spectators, but as potential targets of the decisions these two men might make. If you want to keep following behind the scenes of this explosive battle between political and technological power, subscribe to the channel now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of this story that could change everything. And if you believe our work is important, contribute with a super thanks or become a channel member. What is happening goes far beyond the headlines. And here, we go in depth to show you the whole truth